I'm Ryan from the Flying Ryan Motorcycle Stunt Show, and I'll be showing you some motorcycle riding, stunts and techniques. Maintenance on these machines is very, very important. You risk your life on these bikes whilst you're riding, and if something goes wrong, it can be very catastrophic. One of the main things to check all the time is the tension of the chain. Here's the chain on the motorcycle here. You can see this one is nicely lubricated and shiny. Always keep it nice and lubricated and clean. You need to have plenty of slack in that chain, because as the suspension goes up and down or as you're going over jumps, this chain tightens and loosens. The best way is to have 3 fingers at the end there, and if you can just move those fingers very, very slightly, then that chain is about correctly adjusted. Again, you have a roller bearing here. This needs to be nice and free and able to move around. You need to check the bolts on the sprocket. These bolts here on the sprocket, that they don't come undone. The spokes on the machine, these things here, they need to be tightened on a regular basis, because the more you ride, the more they shake themselves loose and you can have problems. Moving on to the engine. Now on the engine, obviously, this particular bike has got oil inside the engine. This has got engine and gearbox oil. You have an oil filter inside here, that needs to be changed on a regular basis. And obviously the engine oil. On these modern 4-stroke machines, the engine oil is very, very important. It's always best to change the oil pretty much after every time you ride, because that way you know you've got the best oil inside that engine. Again, with all the nuts and bolts on the machine, the nuts and bolts here holding on the plastics, holding on all the bits and bolts, the engine and everything, all need checking the whole time to make sure that nothing has come loose. Tyres and tyre pressures need to be kept just correct. For wet weather, you perhaps want to have slightly less pressure in the tyres. For dry conditions, you need to have more pressure in the tyres. This does make a big difference to your riding. Inside here, underneath the seat, we have an air filter. At dusty conditions, the air filters can get blocked. They need checking and cleaning on a regular basis, and possibly changing after every race in dusty conditions. Going a bit further up now to the controls of the motorcycle. You need to make sure that they have these balls on the end and they're not broken in any way, that they move freely and they're not too stiff. The brake lever the same, and that it works, and that you have good control over the brakes. When you pull in the lever, it doesn't come in too far and it still works. The throttle needs to return. As you pull it open, it needs to flick back. The front forks of the machine here will need to be free from leaks and oil. They don't want to have any big drips or any bad seals or any oil leaking out of them too much at all. And then we have the radiators on the machine, and need to check that they are full of water the whole time. Once you've completely checked your motorcycle and everything is ready and nothing's falling off and everything is lubricated, then you're ready to ride or race. And that's how to maintain your motorcycle.